Wishing. That's what most people do. They wish for strength. They wish for greatness. They wish for a future that feels out of reach. But wishing alone is the most dangerous poison of all. Because wishing convinces you that someday, somehow, life will hand you what you dream of. But life doesn't hand out crowns. Life doesn't reward the idle. And no one proves this more than Rock Lee. Lee was born with nothing, no talent, no natural gifts. In a world where men could bend fire, summon storms, or wield genius in their veins, Lee was told, "You will never be enough." And here lies the dark truth. The world will always tell you your limits. It will chain you with doubt. It will laugh at your attempts. And if you believe them, your life ends right there. But Lee didn't. He didn't waste time wishing for what he could never have. He turned his weakness into obsession. He became the embodiment of action. Rock Lee's philosophy was brutal. If talent cannot be mine, then effort will be my weapon. If genius cannot be born in me, then pain will carve it into my bones. And if fate has cursed me with limits, then I will destroy them with my fists, one strike at a time. This is dark philosophy. The world is not fair. It never was. And wishing will never make it fair. But doing, bleeding, sweating, training, breaking, rebuilding, that is the only rebellion against fate that exists. When others rested, Lee trained. When others celebrated, Lee suffered. When others wished for power, he built it hour by hour, day by day. And here's the truth most people cannot handle. The difference between wishing and doing is not motivation. It is obsession. It is the willingness to destroy the weaker version of yourself every single day. Lee never asked for a miracle. He became his own. You see, wishing is comfortable. It gives you the illusion that change is coming tomorrow. But doing hurts. Doing breaks you. Doing takes everything from you before it gives anything back. And that is why most will never walk the path Lee walked. Because the path of doing demands sacrifice. Sacrifice of comfort. Sacrifice of excuses. Sacrifice of the softer version of yourself who keeps whispering, maybe later. When Lee faced defeat, when he was told he could never fight again, he didn't wish for healing. He didn't pray for destiny to be kind. He crawled back into the fire. He chose to suffer. He chose to do. And that choice turned a boy without talent into a warrior feared by gods. Here's what you must understand. The world will not care about your wishes. It does not bend for your dreams. It bends only for those willing to shatter themselves against it until it breaks. Wishing creates dreamers. Doing creates conquerors. So ask yourself, do you want to be remembered as someone who hoped or someone who built? Stop wishing. Start doing. Start bleeding for it. Start breaking for it. Start becoming the nightmare version of yourself that even fate cannot control. Because the day you stop waiting for a miracle is the day you realize you are the miracle. Be like Rock Lee. No talent, no excuses, no limits. Just action, just fire, just will. Because at the end of it all, the ones who wish will always kneel. The ones who do, they rise. So stop wishing, start doing. And when the world finally sees you standing tall, broken but unshaken, they will understand what Rock Lee already knew. That effort, pure and merciless, will always conquer destiny. They called him useless. They said he was born broken. They laughed at the idea of a shinobi without ninjutsu or genjutsu. And that's the point, isn't it? People will always laugh, not because they are right, but because they are afraid. Afraid of what happens when someone with nothing decides to fight like they have everything to prove. Wishing is easy. It's like breathing. You can wish for power in your sleep. But doing? Doing is the choice that rips you apart. Rock Lee understood this. Every punch he threw was not just practice, it was revenge. Not against the world, but against his own weakness. Think about this. What would you become if you trained like your life depended on it? What would you look like if you bled every single day for your dream? That is the dark philosophy Rock Lee embraced. He didn't chase shortcuts. He didn't wait for destiny. He forged himself, hour by hour, into something terrifying. And here's the truth nobody wants to hear. You cannot wish yourself out of mediocrity. You can only drag yourself out of it, one broken bone, one scar, one relentless step at a time. Lee was not chasing victory. He was chasing transformation. Every day, he asked, can I be better than the man I was yesterday? And if the answer was no, he went back and kept pushing until it was yes. That's the mindset you need. Not someday I'll win, but today I'll bleed. Today I'll suffer. Today I'll rise. When Gaara crushed his bones, when doctors told him he might never fight again, most men would have quit. They would have wished for another life. They would have cursed their fate, but Lee smiled, because he knew something most people never understand. Pain is not the end. Pain is proof. Proof that you are alive. Proof that you still have a chance to do. Let me give you a truth most are too weak to accept. The universe does not reward the strongest. It rewards the most relentless. Not the one who wishes for success, but the one who refuses to stop moving until they become success. Lee wasn't born a genius, but he chose to suffer like one. And suffering has a way of creating monsters out of ordinary men. Wishing is fragile. Doing is unbreakable. That's why people fear the ones who act. Because once you commit to action, truly commit, you become untouchable. No insult, no defeat, no failure can kill you. You will fall, yes, but the one who does will always rise. And each rise makes you stronger than the last. Remember this, the world owes you nothing. No dream, no crown, no victory. But the world does give you one choice to sit and wish or to stand and do. Rock Lee made his choice, and that's why he became a legend. So if you are tired of waiting, stop. If you are tired of wishing, stop. If you want to change, start. Wrap your fists. Step into the fire. Break yourself, remake yourself, until the world has no choice but to respect you. Because when you live like Rock Lee, when you live by doing, not wishing, you don't just chase greatness, you become it. Most people run from pain. They treat it like a curse. But Rock Lee, he turned pain into his ally. Every ache in his muscles was proof. Proof that he had trained harder than yesterday. Proof that he was one step closer to his dream. When his fists bled against the wood, when his legs trembled after endless kicks, she smiled. Because every drop of blood meant he was alive. Alive to fight, alive to rise. That's the philosophy you need. Pain is not weakness leaving the body. Pain is weakness being burned away forever. Talent is fragile. It can carry you only so far. But obsession is infinite. Rock Lee did not train because he enjoyed it. He trained because he couldn't breathe without it. He trained until training itself became his identity. That's why geniuses feared him. Because talent without obsession is soft. But obsession without talent, that's unstoppable. Ask yourself, are you obsessed enough to keep going when talent laughs at you? Are you obsessed enough to keep fighting when destiny spits in your face? If not, you will break. But if yes, you'll build something even talent cannot crush. There comes a moment in every fighter's life when the world tells you it's over. For Lee, that moment was when his bones shattered against Gara. Doctors told him he would never fight again. His dream should have ended there. But that's the thing about Rock Lee. He doesn't quit just because the world demands it. He walked back into the fire. He chose surgery with only a tiny chance of survival. Why? Because to him, death was better than regret, and pain was better than wishing. So he came back. Not weaker, not broken, but more dangerous than ever before. That is the definition of unbreakable. Not someone who never falls, but someone who chooses to rise after every fall. Rock Lee's life is proof of one thing. You are not born who you must be. You build who you must be. And the building never stops. Day after day, he transformed himself. Not in one leap, but in 1,000 brutal steps. That's what transformation looks like. Not lightning, not miracles, but scars, sweat, and time. You want to be stronger? Then be willing to destroy the weaker version of yourself every single day. Rock Lee's legacy isn't that he was the strongest. It's that he was relentless. It's that he proved the dark truth most are too soft to face.